So we're on our way to the clinic to go to our meeting with our doctor for our WTF appointment. And we're still, like, the thing with our doctor is to try to make another appointment, it's going to be like 3 months. So essentially, we kind of needed to walk in today with, like, if she says this, we'll do this. If she says this, we'll do this. If she says this, we'll do this. So that if there's an option that we're able to execute before a million years from now, we can at least start. So the problem is that we're not 100% totally decided on what we're supposed to be doing, on what we think we should be doing. So that is an issue. Where we're at now is if she gives us some stats, we can go home and digest them, but we're definitely going to get the information on the surrogacy route. So our wonderful potential surrogate lives a little bit far away from us, but in the town that she's in, they have an outshoot of our clinic, which is kind of amazing. So we want to find out, like, can we do the transfer there so she doesn't have to travel? And
an outshoot?
An outpost, a franchise, I don't know, whatever. Another location, an outshoot, a shootout. No, that's not right. I don't know what's happening. I'm a little stressed out. Okay, outshoots in other towns. Can they do the stuff there, or do we need to go here?
Hashtag outshoots.
Shut
Let's see hashtag outshoots in the comments, please.
Oh my god. Okay.
I've started to lose my mind.
I know, me too. So that's where we're at. How are you feeling about things? You should tell them how you're doing.
We don't have anywhere near enough time.
And that's probably true, but, like, you're having a harder time with surrogacy than I am.
Mm-hmm. But I don't really know why.
Okay.
I just, I don't know, I'm weirded out. Half of me is, it's just like we're giving up. We're giving up too early or something. And then I'm worried about our friend, who's one of our best friends. And you know, and I don't want anything bad to happen to her. And, you know, not that it's going to, but yeah, that's just what my ridiculous brain is thinking about these days. And
You're getting really, like, blighted from the window.
oh,
I don't know. Well, you know, you should watch the road.
I'm driving.
What with the driving?
Yeah, no, I'm more, like, I'm getting into it. I just had to wrap my brain around the fact that we might not be able to have kids on our own, and that we were going to get adopted. We might go the adoption route. My brain works very slowly. I overthink everything. And so I just had figured out that adoption was going to be, like, what we need to go with to have a family that we want to have and we need to have. And now we're probably not going to go that route anymore, and we're looking more surrogates. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but I realized that we may be able to not do it, you and I together, and that sucks. But I don't know. I had all sorts of things to say until you put me on the spot with the video.
Ha! Yeah. I need, like, a big flashlight to stick in your face. I think for me, it comes down to the amount of regret that how do I say this properly? The amount of regret that I'll have not trying it for me and knowing that it quite likely wouldn't have worked, but maybe it would have, is less than the amount of regret that I'll have if I give her this embryo and we walk away with a healthy baby.
Yeah.
Like, those regrets are very different. I know that if I have that embryo and it dies, I will feel probably guilty for the rest of my life that we put a beautiful, perfect 5-day blast in my crummy old attic and it got taken by the ghosties. You know, she has the Pinterest attic. Her attic has, like, candles and a bowl of candy and she's baking stuff in it.
Like a full staircase.
Yeah, like a twisty. Ours is the thing that you pull from the ceiling.
And it might not really work. And
it's bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad attic.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how we've ended up sticking with this attic thing, but we're going with it. Anyway, we'll keep you posted. We're almost there.
Pinterest attic now means a good uterus, just in case you guys are wondering.
And ghosty attic means my uterus. It's the new lingo.
Yeah.
I feel badly for anybody that subscribes later, that it's been too far since that explanation, that has no idea what's happening. Anyway, we'll keep you in the loop. For you, it'll be 2 minutes. For us, it'll be 45. So we'll talk to you shortly. That was weird. It was weird. It did not go how I thought it would go. Did it go how you thought it would go?
No.
And then when does it at our clinic?
Yeah.
So it turns out that hiring a surrogate is apparently not our decision. It's It's not a thing we get to do.
We need permission.
Our doctor has said she will take it to the team of physicians only after we try. She said she'll take it to them now. They're likely not to say yes, but she'll ask them both. Okay, rewind. She wants to try the last transfer for me. She said that until you've done 3 transfers, you really can't say, 3 transfers with good embryos, you really can't say it's a uterine problem. And the research on endometriosis and adenomyosis and how it impacts your uterus and having a tilted uterus, there's a technical term that I can't remember at this moment, is inconclusive. She can't say definitively one way or the other. And this clinic, she says, as we know, tends to lean on the side of being very, very conservative. Like, they need multiple proper studies done that show conclusive, definitive proof before they consider it a thing. So, as far as they're concerned, they are unsure of the impact of stage 4 endo and adenomyosis on a uterus. So they cannot say that it is my uterus for sure. So until the 3rd transfer has failed, they pretty much, it's guaranteed they won't consider surrogacy. She is willing, of my list that we went over yesterday, she's willing to do the receptivity test. She said they've never done it in my clinic. We would be the first, and depending on the cost, if it's like $10,000, we're not going to do it, but she's happy to do that, and she's going to bring the idea of being a surrogate to the greater group. They need approval from all 6 doctors in the practice to allow someone to use a surrogate. And we sort of said, well, okay, we're keen to try this embryo on ourselves too. Like, that's great. You've helped us make, like, obviously that's great. You think that that's viable, on board, done, great, good to go. But what do you, like, if that doesn't work, we can't just keep putting embryo after embryo after embryo into my shitty old attic. And I actually said the word attic and then had to explain to her why I called my uterus an attic. It was awkward. And so if it doesn't work, like, we have to ask permission at that point? And she said, well, if you really feel strongly about using a surrogate, I can recommend other clinics for you. And it's like, well, okay. And then she recommended that we see the doctor in Toronto that we've already seen because she didn't bother to read her notes from the last time we were there. I don't even, like, your turn?
I don't know. I don't even know where to start. We asked the question, just flat out, if we use this last good blast and it's wasted on our shitty attic, and we had an opportunity to have a surrogate, what are the percentages that it would be different? Like, does she have a 70% chance and we have a 5% chance, or 60% and 30%? And she answered it with, oh, well, we won't consider a surrogate until 3 failed transfers of good embryos. Like,
she wouldn't even give us the percentages so that we could make an educated decision. She wouldn't say, oh, well, it's more likely here, or this, like, nothing. She just said, well, we can't even give you that information until you've had 3 failed transfers. And it's not even then. Even at 3 failed transfers, she doesn't think that the doctors will allow it, because unless it's like, if you have unexplained infertility, they won't let you use a surrogate. Financial reasons are not a good enough reason for them to allow a surrogate to be used. A surrogate? I don't know. What?
Yeah, I don't get it either. I thought, after pondering, fighting long and hard between the 2 of us, and finally kind of getting on the same page, but on opposite sides of the same page.
But still on the same page.
And now we just found out that it's not even our decision. Like, we didn't think about this. We're doing it because we're Hollywood stars and we don't want to get pregnant and ruin our look. Like,
she used the words willy-nilly.
Yeah.
This isn't a decision that we make willy-nilly, as though we were making a rush decision. Like, you know, we were talking about this on the way out. Like, I know, after multiple surgeries, 1 million injections, 2 protocols of stims, 2 egg retrievals, multiple transfers, you know, at this point, I just don't feel like being pregnant. I'm worried I'm going to get fat. I'm worried.
Yeah. Don't forget $20,000 thrown in there.
And the money. I don't feel like being pregnant anymore, so I decided to take the easy way out. So I'm hiring a surrogate. That's why. Willy-nilly. We flipped a coin this morning and just willy-nilly? Like, what the? Why? And this just reinforces again the clinic that we're at is not the clinic for us. And it's not that they're not nice people. I'm actually starting to like our doctor with more and more with every visit. It's just their policies are not the same way that we want. We are people that want to be aggressive. We're people that want to try new things and get it done and make it happen. And they're the people that like, they're cautious, sit and wait people. They're wait and let everyone else try it. And once everyone else has done it, we'll see what happens. And there's value there. I know that. But in this particular instance, we're ready to be the guinea pig. We're ready to try the thing and whatever.
Also,
and another thing.
Steph says I'm wrong in this. Or not that I'm wrong, but I'm taking it too far. All of the decisions they make at this clinic and all of the conservation? It's not conservation.
No.
All of the being conservative also in the same equation turns out to making them more money, because we then have to go back and try it again and try it again. And they're a small business, and there's only one game in town. And I've said from the beginning, it feels like we're less of a patient to them and more of a paycheck. And Steph's saying that I'm a bit negative, and I have a tendency of getting negative when things aren't going my way. You know, a bit of
It's
a
not.
toddler.
It's not that. It's not
But
necessarily that. It's
it
just
feels to me that every decision they've made is saying like, well, we could try this, but all we would be charging is the implant for a surrogate who's got a good uterus and has amazing babies. Instead, we could give one back where we know it's not going to work, and then they'll have to do another cycle because they only have one frozen.
I like to think that nobody's that awful for a little bit of money. So here's what we agreed to. We went through the list. She's going to do the receptivity test, provided it doesn't cost $1 billion, and see where that goes. We're going to do the modified loop run. I have agreed to lose 42 pounds.
Well, we didn't figure that out.
I just did
yet.
on my
Oh,
phone.
no.
Yeah, it's legit 42 pounds.
Okay.
So we're back on like smoothies and a grain of rice for lunch
That's
for
okay.
the next little while.
I have to lose 25 anyway, so myself.
Well, then it's going to be terrible, but that's okay.
Team effort.
So we did it in November, and we'll do it again. And last time it took between November and the end of February, I lost 40 pounds. So 4 months to lose 40 pounds, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the scoop. So, I guess there's not going to be that many IVF updates in the next little while, because I'm going to have my ass at the gym.
It's going to go from being an IVF infertility vlog to a get swole fitness vlog.
And on that note, we leave you and bid you adieu.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Hashtag outshoots.
Ouch.